Hello and welcome to today's edition of Rabbi Ron in the House. Just a little bit more than a year ago, my family and I, we moved here from New York. And New York has winter. Florida doesn't have winter. We have those months out of the year. But in New York, during the winter, it gets cold. There is snow, freezing rain, and ice. I've been waiting all my life to get out of that snow and ice. It's not safe for walking and driving. Cars skid off the road. Injuries take place. Cars are destroyed. Sometimes lives are even taken. Ice on the sidewalk is also dangerous. People slip and injure themselves all the time in the winter due to the ice on the ground. And so what do we do when you live up in the north? You use salt. And you take the salt and you sprinkle it on the ground and the sidewalk, and that melts the snow and the ice, making it safe to walk. The same thing is done with the roads for traveling with cars. These trucks come by and lay out the ice, the salt on the road, melting the snow and the ice, making it safe for travel. In Leviticus chapter 2, verse 13, it says, "Season all your grain offerings with salt. Do not leave the salt of the covenant of your God out of your grain offerings. Add salt to all of your offerings." In this chapter of Leviticus, talking about our grain offerings, it says, add salt to all of them. It says the salt of the covenant of the Lord. Why is God talking about salt? In the new covenant, Yeshua says, we are the salt of the earth. Paul said to season our words with salt. Salt makes things safe for travel. Salt is also used to keep food from spoiling. Now some of you are saying, Ron, just take a look here right next to yourself. What do we have right here, Ron? We've got a refrigerator. See? Food goes inside the refrigerator, and the refrigerator keeps the food from spoiling. Yes, that's true. All my life, I have used a refrigerator to keep food from spoiling. But throughout the history of this earth, that's not been the case. We did not always have a refrigerator. And in other countries today where there is no electricity, people don't have refrigerators either. So what do they use? Let me show you. Follow me over to here. Inside this cabinet here, my wife has all sorts of different spices. And she also has salt. Come and take a little look. Here we go. See this? We've got containers of salt. Salt has been used throughout history to keep food from spoiling. How does that apply? Yeshua says we're the salt of the earth. Listen, we live in a crazy world. A lot of people are spoiling it, corrupting this world, making it go bad. The problem is they're not staying behind the closed doors within their house, doing the things they do, saying the things they do. They are corrupting and spoiling all the world. They're outside in the communities, on the streets, in the parks, in the schools. They're using media, TV, movies, music, the internet, everything they can to spread their message and to corrupt and spoil others as well. Yeshua says, we're in this world, but we're not of it. We don't partake of the things they do. We don't use the language and the words that they do. But we're here to help prevent spoiling. When this salt is inside this cabinet here with all the rest of the spices, it does nothing to help your food. It doesn't make any of the food taste better when it's just sitting inside the cabinet. This salt inside the cabinet does nothing to prevent things from spoiling. You have to take this salt and surround the food and put it next to the food. And when it is in contact with the food, then it can prevent it from spoiling. And so we're not to be out there partaking of the things they're doing, but we ought to be there, all of us together, like all these grains of salt, surrounding the people of the world, so that instead of them spreading their message, spreading their corruption, we are spreading Yeshua. We're letting Yeshua, Messiah, out of us, so that He can go and change the world. He can change their hearts so that they no longer are out there spoiling and corrupting this world. So remember, Yeshua says, we are the salt of the earth. Paul says, season our words with salt. And so let your words and your actions be seasoned with salt, so we may stop the corruption and the spoiling of this world. That is our job while we're here on this earth. Our time is up. Thanks so much for joining me today for Rabbi Ron in the House.